to invest in crypto and blockchain inside of the bear market. So that way returns would be outsized. And so that one has performed really well. There's a few other things that I've done with crypto and blockchain funds that were have already had great returns. I mean, literally less than a year. And one of them, the theme was, there's also some other interesting things that I've done with coffee and agriculture. For me, it's starting with education, right? It's about learning. It's about surrounding yourself with people that are already playing the game. They're already investing. And that's where I would start. So it's reading the books, listening to the podcasts, and getting around the people that actually do it. And then in some instances, it's even paying for the professionals who are best in class. Maybe it's going to a boot camp, taking a course, hiring them as a mentor in a one-on-one coaching capacity.
Hi everyone, today we'll be covering topic the key ingredients for becoming a lifestyle investor with Justin Donald. A few words about our guest before we start. Justin Donald, the lifestyle investor, is also the author of the book The Lifestyle Investor, The 10 Commandments of Cash Flow Investing for Passive Income and Financial Freedom. He is also hosting a podcast with the same name, focused on showing today's entrepreneurs and business executives on how to think and invest to limit risk, maximize repeatable returns, and achieve retirement goals through his proven passive income cash flow strategies. Justin Donald, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Great to be here. Excited to hang out today.
Oh, you obviously have an exciting story, and I've been thinking a bit where to start. But I came up with an idea that's asking you, when is the best time to stop trading time for money? It's a great question to start with.
Yeah, I mean, really, the answer is as soon as you can. It's not that it's bad to trade time for money. For some people, that's a really great relationship. But for most people, it's probably not. And I think for people that have families and dependents and other things that they want to do and aspire to do in life, I think it's great to have the optionality not to have to work or to not have income tied to time spent. So, I know people that do it that way. I know people that have created true financial freedom. I think the majority of people don't even like what they do professionally. So for someone in that instance, for sure, the sooner the better. But I also think it's not one of those things that happens overnight. And so there needs to be a plan. There's probably certain levels or benchmarks that you can hit over time and ultimately achieve that. For me, it was over a number of years that I was able to do that. So it didn't just happen overnight, so to speak. For my wife, it did happen in one single deal, but that was to replace her income so she could retire. But for me, it took a lot longer because I was earning a larger income.
Right. Well, talking about deals, I would be also excited to find out a bit more details about that, and then probably get back to what's the next step for a complete newbie to come closer to creating a plan and start practicing. And let's cover that a bit later. Let me ask you about the most exciting deal you negotiated in the past 12 months.
Man, I feel like it depends what niche or genre, people are interested in. There have been a number that we've done. I always like mobile home park deals because you can still buy them right. They're owned primarily by baby boomers looking to retire. So it's the largest percentage. It's the asset class for real estate that has the largest percentage of non-institutional owners. And so you can get some great deals. So I've gotten several pretty incredible deals here this year alone. But there's also some other interesting things that I've done with coffee and agriculture. There's a few other things that I've done with some crypto and blockchain funds that were have already had great returns. I mean, literally less than a year. And one of them, the theme was to invest in crypto and blockchain inside of the bear market. So that way returns would be outsized. And so that one has performed really well. And there's been a number of real estate deals. We've come in as rescue capital on a couple of deals and moved into a pretty senior and highly collateralized position on some well-known real estate here in Austin, Texas. And those deals just wouldn't be possible if we weren't having some sort of, banking issues and, real estate issues, people not being able to service because of the interest rates, not able to service their debt. So it's really, I mean, some of those deals that we've done are some of the best we've seen, where we're
Mhm.
getting, let's call it pennies on the dollar, 60 cents on the dollar. But we're getting first position, and we're getting collateral with it, and we're getting a trophy asset, and the collateral backing that trophy asset is also a trophy asset. So a lot of cool things going on.
Right. Well, rescue capital seems to be a key term here. And this seems to be the case with a number of verticals, when people are looking for a solution. Let's get back to the newbies, right? Let's assume that somebody is listening to us and they are bored of their 9 to 5 job. And let's say that they have night shifts and it's getting worse. They start getting some problems with their sleep. What kind of resource you would recommend this guy starting with as the next step?
Well, I think for me, it's starting with education, right? It's about learning. It's about surrounding yourself with people that
Mhm.
are already playing the game. They're already investing, and that's where I would start. So it's reading the books, listening to the podcasts, and getting around the people that actually do it. And then, in some instances, it's even paying for the professionals who are best in class. Maybe it's going to a boot camp, taking a course, hiring them as a mentor in a one-on-one coaching capacity. And in that instance, I would only pay someone that actually has expertise in the thing that you want to learn about. Uh, Everyone today, for whatever reason, is a coach, a life coach, a business coach, whether they have the track record or not. And so I think you got to be careful who you're hiring. So to me, it's less about the actual deal and more about setting yourself up for success with education, with peer group, with mentorship. And then just moving, I always say in my podcast, what's one step you can take today to move towards financial freedom, to move towards life by design, not life by default. And so, as a lifestyle investor, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens one step at a time. So what's the step that you can take today? And that step might be a lunch with someone that, knows what they're talking about with investing in real estate or investing in private businesses or private credit. And maybe from there, it's, um, getting into a mastermind or getting into a peer group where people are doing it. You can ask the questions, you can partner up, you can be the sweat equity instead of the capital. So that there are a lot of ways you can do it. I just think you got to get around the people that are doing it, and eating and breathing and sleeping it every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it seems that a key skill first is identifying the people with real experience, so you don't waste some extra time here. And when talking about running businesses, another key part of the deal seems to be finding the right operator to run a business. I personally know just a few people that spend zero time in operations and they run 5 6 businesses, and they only work on strategies, spend time on strategies, and they do some sales meetings. How What's your advice on finding the right operator to run a business?
Well, some people have the skill set to be operators. I spent time earlier in my life in operational roles, and
Mhm.
I have the bandwidth to do it, but I'm not an expert at it. There are definitely people better. So I have, it's good and it's bad. It's like I have the skills to do it, but that can also be a trap that keeps me doing it. And so today I don't buy a business or invest in real estate if I don't have someone that actually will run it and be the operator that takes point. So how do you find them? I mean, there are groups of operators out there. I know John Ali has a group, I think it's Spyglass, where they have a whole slew of operators that you can hire, and they've already trained them. So that's one place. There's a number of peer groups that are operator
Mhm.
peer groups, or there's a COO alliance that my friend Cameron Harold runs, and they're all COOs running different businesses. So there are a lot of groups out there where you can find it. But I mean, really, you're looking for someone that has like the hustle, that has, big work ethic, that is super trustworthy, and is really, good at systematic work, that they think in terms of systems, they can implement those systems. And you can figure a lot of that out based on
Yeah.
a personality assessment.
Personality assessments seems to be another key ingredient here. Well, let's imagine that a person with less experience just finalized the deal, and let's say fast forward 3-6 months later, he's already feeling that he didn't make a good choice of operator. And the question I have to you specifically is like, what's the role of tough conversations in your success, or in investors' success in general?
Yeah, you have to be able to have the conversation, and it needs to happen sooner than later. Procrastination here is really going to be a dangerous thing to the business. So the moment you know someone's not the right fit, you need to replace them. If you have the bandwidth to step in and be the operator, then step in and be the operator as you're looking for someone else. If you don't have the space and ability, then you find someone that you're going to hire, as you maybe give this person. I wouldn't let them know that you're looking to replace them. Otherwise, their production's going to go down. But you are finding someone as quick as you can to replace them, and then, make that swap. But I think the tough conversations have to happen. And by the way, if you're unsure if they're the right person, then the conversation really needs to happen first before you're replacing them. Like, if they could still do it and you think they could be a fit, maybe it's a tough conversation that's like, hey, I don't feel like you're living up to expectations. Maybe, and take some ownership. Maybe I'm not doing a good enough job explaining the importance, or explaining the role, or helping you through the process. And I'm happy to dig in more. But I really need to make sure that you're the right person, the right fit. Now, if you know for sure that they're not the right fit, then you have to get them out, because culturally it's going to have an impact too. So not just on results, but the culture of the organization. So anytime I have ever waited because I didn't have time to bring someone on, I didn't want to train someone else new. All the laundry list of reasons. I'm too busy, I'm going out of town, whatever. Like, the business suffers because of it. And I have just learned you have to make the move. The moment you know someone's not the right fit, you have to make the move, and you got to end it.
Yeah. I recorded with Jean Hammett last week, the author of the book How to Have Tough Conversations. I know it's a broader niche out there with plenty of authors focusing on that, some high performance coaches as well. And I realized that there's so much to improve and excel in this field that many managers are struggling with this nowadays. Yeah. So completely agree with you. Yeah, we need to have these conversations as early as possible. Well, in one of the intros of the podcasts I went through, somebody mentioned, I can't recall where exactly, maybe it was on your Amazon bio, that you achieved your financial freedom at the age of 37. You were already a family man at this point, and it's a great age to get this mission completed. Talking about families and education, I was also planning to ask you about how we need to work and communicate with our own kids, and what are some important lessons we need to teach them about money.
Well, I think most importantly, your kids are going to pay a lot more attention to what you do than what you say and what you teach. So as much as I want to teach certain things and certain concepts, I've got to make sure that my actions are matching that, because they're naturally going to pay attention and learn based on what I'm doing more so than what I'm saying. So hopefully what I'm doing and what I'm saying is in alignment. But I think it's just important to create time and space to talk about it. Today, with my daughter. We took a half-hour walk this morning, and it was just the two of us, and we got a chance to talk about all kinds of things. And one of them was business, and one of them was being responsible with money. And so it's these little moments where we can instill habits and insight and just even the way that mindset, just the way that you look at things, right? So I think it's a lot of those situations, a lot of those moments, but added up over time, right? So frequency matters. And I
Mhm.
think the earlier you can start talking to them, the better. And the earlier you can start playing games that they find fun, but there's educational value, the
Yeah.
better. Like Cash Flow Quadrant, or I think there's one for kids, like a kids version of Cash Flow Quadrant that we
Mhm.
started a long time ago. That was big, and so we've been teaching how to start her own business, how to create an account. She has a bank account. She gets statements every month. We get to walk through those statements. She has a life insurance policy. We get to walk through that. We just actually, I literally have right here one of those statements that was just mailed, and so we get a chance to teach these things, and I think the frequency really matters.
Right. Absolutely. Frequency increase the chance of building a healthy habit and making it part of their regular routines. Awesome. Well, I'm I'm a huge fan of the cash flow game. I know that we have some local companies that focus on commercial real estate. They have like 500 plus units in their portfolio, and the the co-founders met at the cash flow game at one of the cash flow game clubs here. We also have them.
That's cool.
And I did my first deals after a few games of the cash flow game as well.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, it's like for me, it's a great exercise to train that part of your brain that's responsible for analyzing deals, and you just learn that language. Otherwise, it seems like a pure gambling. And I started advising people willing to invest not to do it before they at least go through a few games and read a few books. Talking about books, let's talk about your own best-selling book, The Lifestyle Investor. Um, Somewhere I noticed that it was referred as a book that's already made a huge difference for thousands of people. Do you recommend this book for people just starting, or are there any others that should be read first?
Well, I wrote the book for a total, amateur, someone that does not know a lot about investing, and I even have, a glossary to define all the terms that are in the book, and I, was very careful in that regard. But I also think it's really designed in a way where people that do have a lot of experience can also get a lot of value too. And so I wanted it to be a book that could have impact really on anyone. And I think because of that, the book's had a lot of success. It became a #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller, USA Today bestseller, so on and so forth. And as of about a year and a half ago, it became a top 1% of all books ever sold out of every book. And I really think that that's a testament to it appealing to all different types of people, whether you have experience, you don't have experience, regardless of what niche or industry someone is in. And then just, a quick shout out, all the proceeds of the Lifestyle Investor go to fight human trafficking. And so we've been able to donate hundreds of thousands of dollars on behalf of book sales, just to Love Justice International, Tim Tebow Foundation. So it's not just helping with the financial education and financial freedom change and impact, but it's also helping on real human life freedom as well, buying people's true livelihood back.
Yeah, well done. Well, that's very noble of you. Congratulations for your noble mission here. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. So I recently heard that you're planning to do a renewed edition. Could you elaborate on that as well?
Yeah, so the new edition is live. It's live on Amazon, which is cool. I mean, it just literally went live. So I added
Nice.
about 25-30% of extra content to the book. So quite frankly, when people say, well, tell me what's new, I think just in the extra content, it's worth reading the new book, even if someone's read it before. But I go into a lot of detail on new deals. I follow up on all the deals I talked about and where they're at, the status of them. I talk about AI and investing in AI. I talk about hacking venture. I talk about this Ponzi scheme that I invested in, and kind of the results of that, because I had to go to I was federally indicted, had to appear in court to testify. Actually, that's the wrong terminology. I was subpoenaed, had to appear in court. So not indicted, subpoenaed, to appear in court to testify, against this person. And we had all the evidence to be able to get them convicted on all 7 counts of fraud, which is pretty outstanding. But I wasn't able to talk about any of the details of that before because I was working with federal agents and federal prosecutors, and I wasn't allowed to say anything. So I was able to kind of give the whole story, along with a bunch of other cool things. So yeah, I mean, the new book just is, it's just chocked full of extra content. So I'm really excited about it and really, really proud of it.
Nice. Well, talking about. Oh, by the way, do you recommend people going straight with the updated version, or they would need to go through the
Yeah, it'll
first?
be hard. Yeah, it'll be a lot harder to get the original version. So, I mean, if someone goes to Amazon, they can only get, I think, the updated version today.
Cool.
And that's the one I would get because it still has all the same content from the last, book, from the original book.
Yeah.
So, I would recommend the new one because it has all the extra content.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I have some.
And by the way, we also have all kinds of free digital products too that are going with it that could have been included in the book, but it was taking so long to get this thing printed. I just created a totally separate, kind of resource list that, these things all should be in the book. I mean, we talk about whole life insurance, estate planning, some of the cool things we do in our mastermind, the Lifestyle Investor Mastermind, and just a number of other high level topics and concepts.
Right. Well, thanks to referring to the mastermind, feel free to elaborate further. What are the kind of what makes an ideal member for the mastermind?
Well, we're looking for people that have a desire to learn and grow, but also have a desire to teach and share the gifts that they have. It is a big commitment to be in it. So we've got, quite the interview process to make sure someone's the right fit. And, there certainly is a cost to being in it. There are a couple of different tiers of the mastermind, but, we really want to find the right people and the right fit and make sure that it is a win-win situation. So we have several people that will meet with applicants, and, we have a board that kind of makes the decisions on membership. But yeah, we opened up a few more spaces. So I think we're, at 120 members and have been for quite some time, but we opened up to bring in, probably 20 new applicants this year.
Nice. Oh, masterminds are, the back door for success for many modern entrepreneurs nowadays.
That's right.
Thanks for elaborating here. I couldn't resist asking about the Ponzi schemes. What would you advise people so they avoid them as much as possible? Yeah.
It's a great question, and you're spot on. The way to learn about Ponzi schemes is by learning from someone else's mistakes. Don't make the mistakes yourself. So I've got a whole chapter in the book dedicated to that called Murphy's Laws for the Lifestyle Investor. Basically, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and what that looks like and how to avoid it in the future. So I have all these different one lines that's like, hey, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. If it looks too good to be true, then it probably is. And, to trust your gut and, just to notice the red flags that exist. And so there's just, I think there's 25 different items like this that I list out for people to pay attention to so that they don't make the same mistake that I made.
Yeah. Well, it has to do also something with self-awareness, catching yourself where you start, uh, getting your emotions triggered. Um, I have a friend that used to work in a local bank in that special, like, I don't know how it's called, fraud department or risky investments department, where his goal was literally persuading people not to make that bank transfer,
Hmm.
because he explored the the opportunity there into, and still he complained that he was helpless in many occasions. People got disappointed, and that was the only way for them to learn, which is, at the end, it's a cost, some kind of cost for the education, learning the tough way. Um, so the at least, I'll be happy to find out that these people didn't get completely desperate and cut their their path to entrepreneurship and investing completely. Um, so nice, Justin. I'm excited to read the book myself as well, and probably we could do parts two. I'm honored to know Sir Marco Robinson in person. I met him almost a year ago in London. We published his book in Bulgarian, and
Oh, nice.
it's called Guaranteed Financial Independence or Guaranteed Financial Freedom. I feel your book will be the next book in this field to read.
Well, thank you.
Um, Absolutely. And I would be also open to negotiating the rights. If it's self-published, it might be easier. But to negotiating the rights to republish the book, translating it and republishing it in Bulgarian.
Oh, fine.
If you know who is in charge with that, feel free to connect me and I can chat
Yeah,
with
we
them.
could certainly do that. That'd be cool to have it in Bulgarian and for you to be the guy that really had the impact and influence to get it in your home language.
Absolutely, absolutely. At the bare minimum. Um, is there anything else that makes you excited lately?
For me, I just love to learn. I like to be around really smart people that are playing the game of business and life at a really high level. I like being around people that play the game of life at a higher level than me. It inspires me. It intrigues me. I feel like it's intellectually stimulating to be around people like that, and to just always be learning. So I'm a student first and foremost, and so I'm always reading. I'm always spending time with people that are smarter than me. I take someone to either breakfast, lunch, or a coffee at least once a week that is an expert in something or better or smarter in something than I am, so I can learn, I can pick their brain, and that to me is fun. So I just want to keep sharpening my skills.
Nice. So guys, remember, it's worth becoming a lifestyle investor. So you have the time to keep learning and excelling in what you're most excited about. Nice. Well, let's then wrap it up, and I wouldn't be against recording part two in 6+ months.
Fun. Yeah, let me know.
All right. Well, Justin, keep rocking on. Congrats for republishing the book with the updated version today. I'll do my best to promote it to my circles. And looking forward to talking again soon.
Wonderful. And I'd love to just offer your community, if they're interested, we have this strategy session that we do. Generally, it's $500, and people can talk to uh, experts on our team that know all the products that we have and help people kind of move from A to Z. But I'd love to offer it to your community if anyone is interested. I'd love to offer a free call instead of a $500 call. So free to anyone in your community that just says that they heard about me through our podcast, and we'll take care of that free of charge. So that would be lifestyleinvestor.com/consultation. So if you go there, someone on our team can meet with you and kind of help you with next steps for you, what that looks like for your life specifically.
Yeah, well, Justin, this is a great giveaway offer. Thanks for elaborating. So once again, the lifestyleinvestor.com/consultation.
Consultation.
Cool. Once again, it was honor chatting with you. Looking forward to talk again soon. All the best. Keep rocking on.
Thank you, Miko.
Thank you.